So I guess everybody has their opinions on that. So I've worked in Tells for about a decade, actually. So my LinkedIn doesn't do me service, but I've worked in various different sales roles from, for example, selling mobile phone contracts to then actually being a real estate agent for one of the top agents in London. And then I guess after my uni degree, so I studied law for my bachelor's, I then discovered the world of tech sales. And I've been in tech sales for about 2.5 years, and I've worked my way from an entry-level sales development representative to now dealing with the post-sale side of things. So I manage a portfolio of accounts, and I'll go into that later on, because we've got a segment touching on the roles, what the day-to-day entails. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Thanks, Miriam. Nice to meet you. I'm sure a lot of us on here, if not everybody, has questions to ask. So please write down your questions, and there'll be a section for that. And while the conversation is going on and certain questions jump at you, please note that down. And I'm sure Miriam would give room for all of us to ask all the questions we'd love to ask. So Miriam, would you be sharing your screen, or should I?
I think if I share my screen, I won't see anyone, right? So
Exactly. So I'll do it. All right.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
I'm sure you all can see my screen now.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So once I start sharing, once I move on to the slides, I won't be able to see anyone. So that's it. I'll mute myself now.
Thank you. So yes, just going on to the main topic for today. So as Gertrude has perfectly outlined, we're going to be talking about the various different roles in tech sales, because sometimes, especially for me, I take for granted that in different places around the world, people in tech sales may have different titles and different roles. So it's always important to really understand, okay, what roles what does the day-to-day entail, and how does it impact people and individuals. So yes, that's the main topic of today. And if
my apologies, we're going to have my apologies, Miriam. We're going to have a bit of a challenge. Akachi, please, can you join in as Tech Sales Nexus so you can accept people when they are in the waiting room? Because once I'm sharing, I won't be able to do that. Is Akachi still on the call?
Yeah, I am, but I need to get my system. Just give me a sec. I'll do that.
All right, then. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. And yes, yeah, perfect. So tech sales is a huge landscape. There's a lot to it, and there's a lot of roles that make an organization bring, I guess, a sell to life, and a lot of roles in the background, from technical roles to non-technical roles. So primarily today we'll be touching on non-technical roles, being, for example, like the role of an SDR, a sales development representative. And we'll also touch on roles that are technical, such as like a sales engineer. But there's so many intricate different roles that work together, and they collaborate in order to make it happen. And one thing that I'm always conscious about is, in all my roles that I've been in, I've always looked at, okay, how do these roles all interact? And how can I collaborate with other team members in other teams, such as, for example, let's say the product team. So the people who are primarily in charge of bringing out new features or tweaking various different things within the software or the product for the clients, and how can I collaborate with them in order to bring about a sale. So one thing to note is that you can't really work in tech sales and just be tunnel visioned and think, yeah, it's just my role and it's not linked to anyone else. The more you collaborate, the more you essentially generate more sales and are able to make a big impact. So for those of you who may be in tech sales or who are considering going into tech sales, always have that in the back of your mind. How does my role play in the bigger picture of the company? And how can I collaborate with other different departments in order to be successful in my role? Next slide, please. Thank you. And next slide. Thank you. So in terms of tech sales, like it's always good if you figure out, like if you think of the word of tech, like the world of tech sales, there's a lot of different jargon, a lot of technical terms attached to it. But ultimately, when it comes to tech sales, all it is a product or service that a business has that they're rolling out to consumers. Now, the consumers could either be direct clients. So for example, I work for a fintech, a financial technology company, and we have a accounts payable software. I know these are big words, but just think of it as just a software in general. Now we have two ways of selling our products. So for example, if I have a business, I can go to our website and purchase the software directly. Let's say if I've got a hairdressing business or a construction business. And then we've got another element to it, which is partners. So these are people or organizations that will essentially be ambassadors for your product. So my role as a partner success manager in my company is to build relationships with those partners and ensure that they become ambassadors. So if I can equip them with enough knowledge to understand our software, they can then roll it out to their clients. So an example will be, let's say, an accounting firm or let's say an accounting firm. Accountants will have so many different clients under them, and these clients can be in various different industries, whether it's construction, media, so many different industries. So as long as I can get them on board, I have exposure to another market. A lot of tech sales companies have different ways of like commercializing their product. So for example, for my company, we have what we call a SaaS product. So to break it down, SaaS is just software as a solution. That's all it means. So